friend, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to share with you guys my July bullet journal setup. Part of me can't even believe that we are already at July. I feel like this year is just flying by. But to get started, because it is the start of kind of like a new quarter, I am starting with my books, my content spread, and my summer bucket list. So to starting off with, I'm just putting in the books that I'm really excited to be reading over the next season, specifically new releases. I did opt to use this Chiyogami paper that I've had sitting around for quite honestly months. I picked it up a little while ago, and I knew that I was going to use it for something a little bit like summer themed, but then I couldn't figure out if I wanted to use it for like a full month spread or what, and it ended up working out perfectly for my kind of like beginning of the quarter spreads. So here it is, those beautiful, beautiful ladybugs. And essentially, I opted to do my book spread a little bit differently than I have in the past. So there are tons of books that are coming out that I am excited to read this summer. I've talked about it in videos on here. I have my summer books I'm excited to come out, which I'll link for you guys. I have it in my reading wrap up, the books that I'm talking about all the time. But I also really like to just include it in my journal as well. If it's not very evident yet, I am very much a pen and paper person. So as much as I document things digitally and have Goodreads, Storyograph, all of those things, I also really just like writing it down. So I usually include just like 6 books that I am looking forward to reading, but I really struggled to narrow it down to just 6 books for this one. So I decided to opt for 9, and full disclosure, I realized that I actually forgot to add a book here. So technically it is 10 because I am so excited for Play Along by Liz Tomford, which is coming out in July, I believe. It's like July or August, but I think it's July. I am super excited for that book, and I completely blanked on including it on my list, which is so unfortunate because I will read all those books. I love everything she writes so far. So either way, these are the 9 books that I am really looking forward to reading. Humoring Me by Kat Shook and Business Casual are very high up on that list. And then I'm giving Lana Ferguson another chance with The Game Changer. I'm hoping because it's not like a paranormal romance that is going to be good, because we all know that I did not like her The Fake Mate at all. That was not for me. But yeah, that is my summer reading list. And then I just continued on with a Chiyogami paper again on the other side. And I actually opted to cover both sheets of paper with both sides, I should say, of the book with this to create my summer bucket list. And my bucket list is one of those things where I didn't really achieve it in spring. I had some things on it. I was going to go take a picnic. I was going to bike along the waterfront. I just had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to do, and it quickly became evident that that was just not going to happen for me that season, and that's okay. I think I did 2 things that were on my list, and they were go see the cherry blossoms, and I think maybe try a new coffee. Oh, do a workshop. And those were 2 things that I had. The workshop was planned for so long, and the cherry blossoms, I literally needed to walk by the park to go to the paper store, so I couldn't miss it. But, that's okay. I like to think that the bucket list is not so much of I have to do these things. It's just guidelines so that I can do something if I wanted to. And I don't know, I'm just very low pressure about the whole thing. Funnily enough, I'm not low pressure about other lists that I make and other things that I'm working towards, but for some reason I am about the bucket list in my journal, so we'll just kind of go with it. So yeah, I don't really know what exactly I am putting on my bucket list for the month of for July, August, and September. I do know that I want to include I don't know, maybe get ice cream on Oslington at some time. I do have a lot of films that I'm have scheduled to go see at TIFF. So like the Toronto International Film Festival has a year-round cinema in Toronto. So I do have a couple of movies that I am planning to go see there as well. So I'm thinking like maybe just make it into like a solo day, which might be something on my bucket list, like solo date day to TIFF. They have a restaurant. They actually have 3 restaurants, what am I saying, in the building, as well as like this really cool like coffee bar area. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go there. But we are still mulling through what our 7 things are going to be. I have a fairly good idea, but I will share them with you guys a little bit later once I have solidified what my 7 are going to be for sure. And then after that, I got into creating my July spread. So here I opted again for Chiyogami paper. I actually went into the store when I was setting up my mid-year bujo and was planning on buying the black and white paper that I actually ended up using in my mid-year spread. And while I was kind of like flipping through and looking at the papers and just waiting to talk to the girls there about like to do my special order, I saw this strawberry paper and was like, oh, I love that. You can't really tell on camera, but there's like a little bit of a sparkle through it as well. It is just so stunning in person. So I basically was like, this is going to be July. I know I did fruits in June, but we're just going to continue going with fruits into July. And as you saw, I made like a kind of little, just cut out a circle of scrap paper that I had just to make a title page. And then I just moved into my month at a glance spread. So my month at a glance spread and my weekly spread for this one is all things that you guys have seen before. I kept it fairly simple. I do find that a lot of the times when I do a really big spread or something that is super creative for a spread, my next month or the next kind of thing that I'm putting into the journal tends to be very simple. And really that just came because, my mid-year setup, it wasn't really like taxing, but it was a little bit time consuming. Like that gold spread took it out of me a little bit and making sure it was all set up. And when it came to July, I just didn't really want to spend a lot of time thinking about what I would be doing. I just wanted a spread that was very functional and worked. So as you can see, I have my month with all the dates and everything else on the left-hand side of my page. And then on that right-hand page there, I'm just creating a very small Dutch door for my habits. And I have 6 of them that I'm focusing on. I started incorporating this red paper that I picked up and a red mild liner as well, just to really tie it into the strawberry theme that I had throughout the book previously. And then I am cutting out kind of like a really large rectangle of that red paper that I was using anyways, to essentially just create like a section that I could write my brain dump on. So I am bringing back that Chiyogami paper, which is why I need that red paper there. And this spread is very similar to what I did for my April setup. I essentially just had the Chiyogami paper and a habit tracker in the middle on a Dutch door and everything else. But that is just my really simple brain dump page, because the way I have been feeling recently is that I need to dump all the thoughts in my brain onto a sheet of paper, because there is so much going on right now. And I think that's also really reflected in this setup. I opted for something that I had done before or similar to stuff that I had done before, because I just couldn't really think. I didn't want to think too hard about what I was doing. And I think that's the beauty of bullet journaling. It can be what you need it to be. I also started introducing a new setup into here. So it's behind the pick. I'm going to try it out. Essentially, I'm just putting a title on there and I'm leaving the 2 pages blank so that I could print out pictures that I take in my phone and include them for things like, I don't know, if I go to a coffee shop, I might include a new picture of picture of the cup and be like, I went to this coffee shop. Or if I go see a play with a friend, like maybe the ticket stub or a selfie while we're there, and just kind of write a little bit about what happened behind the picture. And then after that, I got into my content planner and my content to create spread for the month. Again, this is a spread that I always kind of have in my journal. It does help me keep me kind of on track. And it's funnily enough, the content to create is sometimes like I don't actually get around to creating everything on that list. So which is why you will see it sometimes duplicated from month to month. And I just like carry things over. But it does give me a really good idea of things that like, hey, I might want to do this or I might want to do that. Or, you know, this is an idea that I had for something that I want to post in like June. So for example, this is my bullet journal video was listed as content to create since like April when I first had the idea for it. And it's not something that I filmed or posted until June. But it's nice to have there as something that if I've got a little bit of extra free time, I could maybe start collecting clips for it or film it or what have you. So for my content planner section, I decided to use the same calendar that I used in my June setup. It's a little bit bigger than what I used to do because each like day of the month is a 3x3 square as opposed to a 4x4, which I usually do. And I actually ended up really loving it. It really fills the page. It also gives me a little bit more room to kind of like see what's going on. And I find it looks a little bit neater as well because I'm putting dots for the different things that I am doing or posting as opposed to coloring in the squares like I did when it was a 4x4. And it's just more room, or 3x2, I think is what it was. And it's just a little bit more room. So, you know, it spreads it out a little bit, but I still have room at the bottom to underneath like YouTube, Instagram, and podcast to write down what was posted or like correlates to each of those individual days. And then for content to create, I just brought back that red paper to create individual little boxes for each area that I am focusing on. So I would essentially write I add titles to them like YouTube, Instagram, podcast, and short form content, and I will just write all my ideas underneath it, or like my checkbox list, and it's there on the red paper for me. After that, I moved into my week at a glance spread, and you know, I keep saying it, but I opted for comfort and things that I know work. And one thing I really have been noticing through June is I actually didn't include a work tracker spread, and I miss it so much. I miss looking back and seeing like, where did I move the needle and what did I focus on this week, or what might need a little bit more attention going into the following week. So the work tracker is back at the very bottom of that left-hand page. I also have a section there for me to include all like my tasks. On the right-hand page, the section that I'm creating right now is just for my like social platforms, YouTube, the podcast as well, just to see what's getting posted at a glance for the week. And then just writing my titles in, like to do, create, any notes I may have, and what I am planning to do for next week. So like I said, a really simple spread that I've done many times before, but I love it. So that is my setup for my summer reading list, my summer bucket list, and kind of the month of July as well. I really love this spread. I actually really love this paper with a little bit of like a sparkle detail throughout it. And, you know, I also love how it is just a really functional spread for me that I know is going to work during a very kind of what I know is going to be a very busy month for me. So yeah, I just love it. But yeah, until next time, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Please let me know in the comments if you have any fun plans for the summer and what you are looking forward to doing, or if you're looking forward to reading any of these books. But until next time, I hope you guys have an amazing day.